Hey everyone, and welcome. So, we've all seen chest compressions, right? In movies, on TV, maybe in a first aid class. We know the motion, we know the rhythm. But do we really get what's happening deep inside the body with every single one of those pushes? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look past the motion and get right to the mission, the incredible science behind why this works.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? Beyond just pushing on someone's chest, what are we actually trying to achieve? What's the real mission, physiologically speaking, with this simple but incredibly powerful action? Let's break it down.
Okay, so before we can understand the solution, we have to get a really clear picture of the problem. And the problem is one of the most serious medical emergencies there is, cardiac arrest.
Now, when someone goes into cardiac arrest, it's not like a heart attack where you have a blockage. Nope, this is an electrical issue. The heart's electrical system basically short circuits and the heart just stops beating. The body's pump has completely shut down. And that means blood flow, the stuff carrying oxygen to every single part of your body, just grinds to a dead halt.
And this, right here, is where a rescuer changes everything. With chest compressions, you are literally performing a manual override on the entire system. You are becoming that person's heart.
Now, what I find fascinating is this comparison. A healthy heart, it's a perfect pump. It's self-paced, the pressure is consistent, it's amazing. Chest compressions, on the other hand, well, they're an imperfect substitute. We can't perfectly match the heart's pressure or its output. But, and this is the key, even that partial blood flow is infinitely better than zero. And that's what makes this whole thing so life-saving.
Okay, so we've established that we're acting as a manual pump, but what are we actually trying to do with that pumping? Let's dive into the core science of what makes every single compression so important.
So, the first big concept here is something called cardiac output. It's just a technical way of saying how much blood the heart is pumping out. When the heart stops, cardiac output flatlines. It's zero. So the number one immediate goal of chest compressions is to manually squeeze that heart and generate some cardiac output to get that blood moving again.
And really, you can think of it just like this. It's so simple but so profound. With every single push you do, you are creating one manual heartbeat. You are physically forcing blood out of the heart and into the circulatory system. But, just getting the blood moving isn't quite the whole story. We also have to create something called perfusion pressure. This is the actual force that pushes that blood through all those tiny blood vessels to get to the organs. Without enough pressure, the blood might move, but it won't actually get where it needs to go.
And this is the absolute crucial point. That pressure is what it takes to deliver life-saving blood to our most vital organ, the brain. This is exactly why the proper depth and rate of compressions are so critical. We're not just sloshing blood around. We're trying to build up enough pressure in the system to keep that brain alive.
So we've covered moving the blood and creating pressure. But what's the ultimate point of all this? What's the end game? Well, it all boils down to one single critical thing: oxygen.
I love this analogy because it makes it crystal clear. Think of the blood as just the vehicle. It's the delivery truck. But the truly precious cargo, the thing that everything depends on, is the oxygen it's carrying. Without that oxygen, our cells, and especially our brain cells, start to die in a matter of minutes.
And here you can see that whole journey laid out. It's a perfect cause and effect chain. You push on the chest, that squeezes the heart. That forces oxygen-rich blood into the arteries, and if you have enough pressure, that blood reaches the brain and the other organs, and you keep them going just long enough for more help to arrive.
All right, this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. It might just completely reframe how you think about CPR. We're not trying to be heroes who magically restart a heart. The real goal is actually something much more fundamental.
Just let that one sink in for a second. The goal is not to restart the heart. That's a job that usually takes a defibrillator and paramedics. The number one mission for someone doing CPR is to keep oxygenated blood flowing to the brain to prevent it from being permanently damaged. You're preserving the person.
And I love thinking about it this way. CPR is a biological bridge. You are literally building a bridge with your hands, spanning that critical gap in time between the moment the heart stopped and the moment advanced medical care can take over. You are buying that person precious, life-saving minutes.
In this timeline, wow, it shows you exactly why that bridge is so vital. Look how fast that window of opportunity closes. After just 4 minutes, brain damage can start to set in. The compressions you provide are what keeps that person in the safe zone, preserving their chance for a real recovery.
So, let's just quickly recap the big ideas. Chest compressions are a manual pump creating cardiac output. They generate the perfusion pressure needed to get blood to the brain, and they deliver that critical cargo, oxygen. But above all, the main goal isn't to restart the heart. It's to be a bridge, buying time and preserving the brain until help arrives.
And I just want to leave you with this final thought. We're not talking about some complex medical procedure here. It's a simple, physical action. And if that one action can literally build a bridge between life and death, well, what does that say about the incredible power that each of us has to make a difference in a crisis? Thanks so much for watching.